Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 50-year-old California resident Felipe Martinez traveled to D.C. He was part of a group of men who were in the 3%ers militia. They considered themselves to be militia members, even though they later denied that in trial. But they organized with another group of men who also considered themselves to be militia. That other group had their own Telegram channel. It was called the California Patriots DC Brigade. So this DC Brigade channel said that it was, quote, to be utilized to organize a group of fighters to have each other's backs and ensure that no one will trample on our rights. And one of the group's leaders, Russell Taylor, he wrote, quote, I am assuming that you have some type of weaponry that you are bringing with you and plates as well. So members of the DC Brigade were very much talking about violence. They talked about going to DC to, quote, take care of business. Time for talking is over. And, quote, this is tyranny and our Constitution states we can put bitches 6 feet deep. Let's do it. There are not enough cops to stop us. So a member of the 3%er group, a guy named Derek Kennison, he introduced himself and the other members of his 3%er group in the DC Brigade channel. And he told the DC Brigade people, we're going to be bringing weapons. In fact, he wrote lots of gear. And then he wrote that it included bear spray, knives, flags, plates, goggles, helmets. So the 3%er group, they made it clear to everybody, we're driving to DC, we're not going to fly because they plan to take weapons. And the prosecutor said their group took 5 handguns and a shotgun to DC. And they were messaging each other. They knew that they were not allowed to bring weapons. So they said this in advance and they did it anyway. And at some point, Kennison wrote, quote, we should clear all text in this chat the morning of the 5th, just in case for OPSEC purposes. So the 3%er group started planning for their trip to DC in December of 2020. They had their own encrypted Telegram channel that they were using to communicate. And their group also repeatedly discussed violence. They talked about war, soldiers, battle. And on January 3rd, Martinez messaged the group and he said, quote, our president is mustering his troops. So later that day, Martinez was asked, why are you going to DC? And he replied online saying, raise some hell, son. And then prior to their departure, Martinez also posted, quote, we're packing light, just a scattergun and a pistol apiece. And on January 6th, Martinez was seen on the Capitol grounds. He was with his friends. He was wearing a helmet, tactical gear. He had a ballistic plate carrier inside of that vest. And he was carrying a pocket knife, also a can of bear spray. Despite seeing tear gas, hearing flashbang grenades, the group headed towards the Capitol. They maneuvered through barricades. There were area closed signs posted on them very clearly. So Martinez and 2 of the friends moved forward as the mob was breaching additional barricades. And they saw that the mob was violently assaulting police officers in front of them. And one of the group, the 4th person, he separated from them. He briefly entered the Capitol. But Martinez and the other 2 were just walking on the Capitol grounds. And the mob eventually surrounded the police or a group of police. Well, Martinez and his friends started pushing towards them. They headed to the Capitol. But as Martinez and one of his other friends reached the Upper West Terrace door, they saw that a bunch of police were swarming the entrance that they were headed to. So they left. They retreated at that point. So Martinez was arrested on June 10th of 2021. And in a superseding indictment, he was charged with conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, and disorderly conduct in a restricted building or grounds. So Martinez and his friends refused a plea deal. And in November of 2023, they went to trial. They were convicted on all counts by a jury. So Martinez was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. The prosecutor, though, requested 78 months in prison, 3 years of probation, $2,000 in restitution, and a fine of $30,315, which was the amount of money that he's raised on Give, Send, Go. And even though federal sentencing guidelines were a lot lower than what the feds requested, they asked the court to impose a sentencing enhancement. They said, because of the conspiracy, because of false statements that Martinez made during the trial, and because he had no remorse. So at his sentencing hearing, Martinez told the judge that he was actually, quote, very sorry, and he would, quote, never see me back here again. So U.S. District Judge Royce Lamberth presided over Martinez's case, and unfortunately, he sentenced him to only 21 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. A pathetically weak sentence considering that this case went to trial and this guy was found guilty on 2 felony counts. Also, the judge didn't mention a fine, as with his friend. So I don't know. I don't think he had to pay it. Like I said, that was the amount that he raised on Give, Send, Go. So it is just complete BS that these people get to keep money that they raised off of their crimes. And Martinez's fundraising page says that it's for, quote, the defense for a disciple of Christ. Seriously? Yeah. True disciples of Christ? They're not Trump supporters, guy. Hate to tell you, you might want to actually read that Bible you're thumping. Don't think Christ is going to be excited to see Donald Trump. I don't think Trump is going to see him at all. I don't think that's where Trump is going. Just saying. Anyway, all right. I will let you all know when or if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Links are below in the description box on YouTube and the podcast. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.